See that far? Can you see if the live is on there? Bottom left. Does it say live?
Here?
Yeah, bottom left.
I don't see it.
Where it says YouTube.
Yeah, I don't see anything that says live. Well, let's see live streams.
Okay.
Is it showing up on yours, Brad? We're live? Okay. Good evening, and welcome to the Fort Scott City Commission regularly scheduled meeting for November 18th, 2025. Lisa, please take the roll.
Dylan Olson,
Here.
Matthew Wells,
Here.
Tracy Dancer,
Here.
Kathleen Salisbury,
Here.
Tim Van Hookey.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your heads. Commissioner Wells.
Lord Jesus, we come before you this evening just to thank you and give you praise, to honor you, to glorify you, and just to take a moment to realize that the life that you lived was a life of service to others. It's often referred to that the servant's heart is what embodied you. And I thank you, Lord God, that every example that you speak about is how he who is last will be first, and he who is first will be last. And it is those that serve, Lord God, that show the way. This evening, Lord God, I just thank you and give you praise for the heart of each one of these servants. Continue to give of their time and of their talents to serve this city, to try to do the best job that they can. With that in mind, Lord God, we ask that you liberally pour out your wisdom upon each one of us. Give us the guidance and direction. Speak to our hearts. Speak to our minds. Let us continue to try to embody that servant's heart that you so graciously showed us when you went to the cross to die for our sins. Be with our first responders, Lord God. Be with those in the fire department, the police department. Be with those who drive the ambulances, the paramedics. Be with those who work in the dispatch. Be with all those in our city each and every day who continue to give of themselves to try to move this city forward. Those that work here in the offices, those that work at the public works, the wastewater, the sewer treatment, all those areas, Lord God. We thank you for them, and we ask that in this holiday season you pour out an extra portion of blessing upon them. We just ask, Lord God, that you allow us to do the best we can to try to guide this city forward. Continue to bless each one of us. God bless this city of Fort Scott that we love so much. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Okay. Approval of agenda. You should have received an updated amended agenda that removed appearances under item 7. And then speaking with the city manager ahead of time under action items on the second page, consideration of proposals for Fort Scott Lake Lift Station. City manager has asked if we move that to the next meeting because he has some additional information he's trying to root out on that before we would take a vote on it. So with that said, any other additions or deletions?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I would move we accept the agenda as proposed with the changes.
Second.
Matthew Wells,
Yes.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes. Item 5, consent agenda. Any questions, comments, or concerns on the consent agenda?
No?
No.
I motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Okay. Public comment, there was nobody signed up for public comment. Item 7 has been removed. There is no unfinished business, so we're moving on to section 9. What's that? I think this is where it might slow down a little bit. Item 9, new business, public hearings. First public hearing is regarding consideration of resolution number 40, 2025, a resolution of the governing body of the city of Fort Scott, Kansas, determining the advisability of issuing taxable industrial revenue bonds for the purpose of financing the acquisition, renovation, furnishing, and equipping of a commercial facility located in the city, and authorizing execution of related documents for Fort Scott Dialysis. So, we need, first of all, a motion to open the public hearing.
Make a motion to open a public hearing for consideration of resolution number 40-2025.
Second?
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Okay, I know we have somebody, Dominic Eck from Gilmore and Bell, that was on the agenda, but before the meeting started, Dr. Nadine Abdul Magda from Joplin Nephrology is here to kind of give us an outline of what she would like to do. And I thought before we talked about the bond part, it would only make sense to hear from the person of interest. So, Dr. Abdul Magda, and I
Yeah,
know, hopefully I'm close.
You're very close.
Okay.
That's actually why I go by Dr. Nadine in the area. So people don't even bother with my last name. But it's nice to meet you. I knew I was going to be nervous tonight, so I prepared a speech. Can you guys hear me?
Is your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. So I knew I was going to be a little nervous tonight, so I prepared a speech. So good evening, Mr. Matkin, members of the City Commission, and members of the community. My name is Dr. Nadine Abdelmagda, kidney doctor at Joplin Nephrology Consultants. Some of you may remember me from years ago when I used to drive up to Fort Scott from 2015 to 2019 when the previous dialysis clinic was open. At that time, I was the only kidney doctor serving this community, and many of your residents became my patients. This community has been part of my life for over a decade, and it's deeply personal to me. My father, who's also a kidney doctor, served this region for many decades, and I'm proud to follow in his footsteps. He's actually here with us tonight. When the Fort Scott Dialysis Clinic closed, all my patients were devastated. Some had begun to believe that they were finally able to get care close to home, and unfortunately, it was gone abruptly. Some of my patients are no longer with us today. I think of them often, and this project is in their honor, as well as for the patients who are still here, who have been driving long distances 3 times a week, every week for the last 6 years, just to stay alive. Their stories and their strength is the reason I'm standing here tonight. To reopen this clinic, I'm requesting a 10-year, 100% tax abatement through the IRB process. This support is absolutely essential for one reason. Without it, the project unfortunately can't happen. Dialysis is one of the most expensive healthcare services to build and operate. The water treatment system alone in a dialysis clinic is incredibly costly, somewhere in the range of $385,000. Plus, the facility also requires specialized plumbing, generators, medical equipment, and ongoing regulatory compliance. The profit margins are low, and the clinics take years to mature before becoming financially stable. This tax abatement gives the project the runway it needs to succeed and stay in Fort Scott for the long haul, even after the first 10 years. In addition, my team is building a long-term foundation to support Fort Scott and the surrounding areas for years to come by adding 2 more kidney doctors. We've been serving this region for 10 years, and I plan on staying for decades more. My group is expanding our Kansas services to provide faster access, but specifically to keep care local. So this is not just a short-term idea for us. This is a long-term mission to rebuild the local kidney care for Southeast Kansas. Reopening the clinic will also strengthen Fort Scott's entire healthcare ecosystem. Fortunately, with the ER and the hospital services returning and the CHC SEK expanding, Dialysis is an essential piece of the puzzle. Each service strengthens the other, and keeping care local ensures that all of these services actually succeed together. For additional benefits, there's other major benefits to the city. Dialysis clinics use a substantial amount of water daily, which increases the city utility revenue in a steady and predictable way. The clinic will create local healthcare jobs and utilize maintenance specialists, which brings recurring jobs directly into the community. When patients can stay in Fort Scott for dialysis, their day-to-day spending like gas, meals, groceries, among other things, also stays here. That may seem small, but when you multiply it at least 3 times a week, every week of the year, it becomes a meaningful economic boost to your local businesses. And most importantly, it will reduce the preventable hospital admissions caused by missed dialysis treatments and long commutes, especially in tough winter months, improving overall patient quality of life and reducing the strain on your local families. Fort Scott deserves this dialysis clinic back. Families deserve the relief from years of exhausting travel. Patients deserve the dignity of receiving life-saving care close to home, and we really need your partnership to be able to bring it back. I respectfully request for your full support of a 10-year, 100% tax abatement through the IRB process, because without it, this project can't move forward, and with it, we can restore the critical lifeline that this community needs, and we can keep it long-term. Thank you for your time and for your consideration on this request on behalf of your most medically vulnerable members of your community.
Thank you, Dr. Nadine.
Thank you.
From a public hearing standpoint, before we go to our bonds representative, we have a pretty full room here. Is there anyone else regarding the public hearing that has anything they'd like to add, share, or question?
The presentation is the cost benefit analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different, that's not Dominic, that's Steve.
Oh, okay.
So we have 3 different components.
3 different components. Okay.
Hello, my name is Betty Windley, and I am on dialysis. I have been on since 2020, and I'll tell you my weekly schedule. I get up, go to work, go to dialysis. That is my job every day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I get up, I have to be there by 7, so I get up at 5. So from 7 to 11, I'm on dialysis for 4 hours. It's a 45-minute drive from my house, and I live north of Fulton, to the dialysis center in Pittsburgh. I fill my car up in Pittsburgh instead of Fort Scott. It's 15 cents cheaper. I eat once I get out of dialysis, and I have a driver. So every day, or Monday, Wednesday, or some Fridays, so that's 6 times eating. We fill up the car twice a week. You know, we go to the stores. We're right there. More places to shop. I think it would be great to have it back here, because I know that me and there's at least 15 others in this area that go to Pittsburgh for dialysis. There's 5 or 6 that go to Nevada, and they said they would come back to Fort Scott to go to dialysis. So you're bringing money back to Fort Scott. I don't like spending money out of Fort Scott because this is my hometown, but it happens, and I really appreciate it if you could bring it back here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. Okay, before we get into the, Lindsay, you had something?
I'm Lindsay Madison, president of the Fort Scott Area Chamber of Commerce, and I've spoken with Nadine, Dr. Nadine, at length on the phone. Tonight's actually the first time we've met in person, but we've talked a lot about the project, and just want to affirm some of the things that have been said here this evening. One of the things I would be most excited about personally is the building has been sitting there vacant, a very nice building, for a number of years, and would just be great to see a business back in it in general, but even more so the dialysis clinic, because I knew people that were being treated when it was here before, and it was just such a convenience and, like she said, assurance that they can just go here close to home, and I know she hopes to draw from around the region, being up in this area as well. And then I'm also serve on the Freeman Board, and I know Dr. Nadine has spoken to representatives of Freeman, and like she said, that they will utilize the emergency department and other services of Freeman, and I think that that would also be a great partnership from that perspective. So just wanted to express support from the overall commerce and plus the jobs that bringing to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Mindy Brundridge. I live in Missouri, but I was the manager at the clinic when it closed. We had about 5 or 6 employees there on a regular daily basis. Those employees I know would run out, get lunch. They would do grocery shopping and things like that. Me, myself, I banked here in Fort Scott. I did my grocery shopping before I went home. So now, since then, I've pulled my money out of my bank to put it in Nevada Bank, and I also shop in Nevada. What that means to me is that I would get to go work closer to home. Since then, I've had to travel all over to do dialysis. Instead of going to Pittsburgh, I was made to be a traveling dialysis nurse. So what that looks like for me and my family, I go to Garden City, Hayes, Liberal, Kansas, just all over. So not really home with my kids and my husband very much. And so it would be a great asset to have me home and closer back to, the clinic here. I know when it closed, there were some that wanted probably just to quit dialysis in general. There were some that didn't have enough funds to get to Fort Scott dialysis, let alone Pittsburgh. So I'm just here for my patients, for the most part, to get them in closer dialysis clinic.
Thank you. Dr. Nadine, just since I'm not familiar completely with the dialysis unit, how many people does that traditionally employ, or what do you envision it employing?
So somewhere in the range of 7, at least about 7. And as the amount of patients that we serve increases, the
Sure.
amount of people they employ also increases.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that has any comments before we go into the 2 different presenters that we have on the screen behind us here? Okay. Brad, any particular order you want them in? No, go ahead. Okay. The first gentleman there, and his name was, again? Steve.
Dominic is here in person,
Okay.
and Steve is on the screen.
Okay. So Steve, if you can hear us, if you would like to go ahead and walk us through your presentation.
I can. Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, appreciate your patience in handling this in this manner, and hopefully that we'll still be able to have everyone see and understand the presentation. I apologize if the printing is a little bit small. It looks like the room is fairly long, and some of you at the back may have some problems seeing that. But what I'll be talking about is the cost-benefit analysis, which is required if you are going to issue industrial revenue bonds, required by state law. So I was engaged by Dr. Nadine several months ago to perform this, and I'm just going to give you a really quick review of what a cost-benefit study is, because I don't think you've had one of these recently, and it's good to catch up if we do that. So here we're going to just briefly talk about understanding what a cost-benefit analysis says, and then how it's prepared, and then you will have the opportunity to look at parts of the report as well. So, in order to understand the cost-benefit analysis, the quickest way is to look like a teeter-totter. It's a method of considering costs versus benefits in a systematic method so that you're able to compare the costs against expected benefits over a 10-year period and to assess the value and vitality of the decision making that you make with regard to abating taxes during the time period that is under consideration, which is 10 years. The typical components of cost-benefit study include information from the firm, and they provide the information about the investment in buildings, in fixtures and infrastructure. They talk about the new number of new jobs and the salaries, and they provide projected operating revenue and expenses. And then we take that information and combine it with information from public records. As the preparer, I go through the budgets of all the taxing units that are involved, and then to look at the cost of providing government services for each of those entities. I also review state statistical records of tax collections so that we can get some idea of what new jobs and new residents in your community will provide in the way of sales tax revenues. In order to make a cost-benefit study, we have to make some assumptions. First of all, we need to make an assumption regarding the inflation rate. We've been using most recently a 2% inflation rate. Earlier in the year, I was using 2.2. At one point, here about a year and a half ago, we were in some pretty high inflation numbers, but that's calmed down, and so I used a 2% rate on this particular one. We also have to look at the relative personal and business costs and revenues of government. And in doing that, we separate tax revenues from other revenues that result from fees and that sort of thing to help determine what a new resident means to the city in terms of those kinds of revenues. And then we make a determination of property taxes of the new construction. So the actual determination of the property taxes is made by the county appraiser after the construction is done. But we have to do the cost-benefit study. We have to make some kind of an assumption of what that's going to be. I use 80% of the construction cost as the appraised value, and the assessed value in this case is 25%. And then we apply your existing mill levy to those to determine what the property tax would be. So that's just the components of the cost-benefit study, what it looks like when we prepare it. And so we're just going to go into what you would see when you look at it. I think each of you have a copy of this that's been prepared for you, but in case you don't, then we start out with the cover letter, which explains the process and some of the terms that are used in the report, and then provides the key ratios and percentages that you need to look at, and then summarize the data. An example of that is shown at the bottom of this slide. I'm not going to read those because if you're on the back row, you can't see them, and we are going to look at them in just a minute on another slide anyway, so I'm just going to go on to the next one. So the key ratio that we look at in a cost-benefit study is the actual benefit to cost ratio, which is tells us what, by summarizing all the data, it makes the best estimate of the returns of investment on a taxing unit over the 10-year period. For instance, a ratio of 1.5 indicates that the taxing unit gets back $1.50 for every dollar it invests in the project. Now, your investment in the project, in this case, you're not putting in cash into the investment, but you are, if you abate the taxes, you are giving up tax revenue that you might otherwise get. So if you give up a tax dollar, it's like you invested that dollar toward the success of the business involved. So we'd always look at the fact that you would want typically a desired ratio of at least 1.3, meaning that you would get back $1.30 over the 10 years for every dollar that you invest. So in a minute we'll look at what that is for this project. And then the other part is what is the key percentage, and this is the return on investment, which indicates the average interest rate return for the taxing unit in the project over the 10-year period. So the typical desired rate would be equal to or better than the interest rate you could earn on idle funds. If you have your idle funds invested at 2%, then if you get a return of more than 2% by abating the taxes for this business, then you're using your funds, quote, quote, at a higher rate. So that's where we look at those. So on this project, which summarizes for your city being the principal taxing equity, your ratio is 9.67. That's well above the desired ratio of 1.3. And that indicates that over a 10-year period, the city would get back almost $10 for every dollar that it invests in the project by abating the taxes. And your percentage of investment is 87%, which is very, very high in terms of that. So you might say, well, what is it about Fort Scott and this business that make those so high? Well, fortunately, your city water and wastewater utilities are very profitable. Based on the years of your city budget that I looked at, you make about 45% profit on those two utilities. And this particular business will use a large volume of water. Dr. Nadine can explain why it's that much, and the fact that they will use a large volume of water would actually, it looks like it would return to the city a profit of, in your water and wastewater utilities, of $334,000 over the 10 years. And that's by far the biggest element of your returns on this particular project is because of the utilities that they would use. Now, if we go into the report itself, the first thing is the cover letter, which just basically explains what we've talked about so far and also summarizes the results for all the taxing units. And you can see that the return for the city is 9.67, for the county is 2.88, for USD 234 is 5.47, for the community college it's 1.28, for the extension district it's an even 1, and for the state of Kansas it's 6.66. So The only taxing units that get below the 1.3 are the community college, which is slightly below, and the extension district, which the extension district, of course, covers 4 counties, and so there's a very small impact on them because they have a very low mill levy as well. So they just really don't get much of any impact on the deal. So I try to do at the title page of the report, and this is probably not readable for everyone on the back, but I try to show you where the money comes from, where the dollars would materialize over the 10-year period. And if we look at the city's part there, the sales taxes during construction would be about $1,300 from the operations of the business over the 10 years would produce sales tax of another $1,300. And of course, they really don't have any sales that are subject to sales tax, but they do have to make purchases that they pay sales tax on. And then sales taxes from their employee spending, which is based on, I assume that about half of the new employees will live in the city and use city utilities and spend money in the city, and that over the 10-year period becomes about $45,000. Sales taxes from the visitors who are coming in, the patients who come in, and I've already heard one patient say that she spends money in another city because that's where she goes for dialysis, and it's just going to happen that way. So that would be coming to you, and that's about another $15,000. Then in the utility profits and franchise taxes, that's where I already talked about the fact that you would get $334,000 over the 10 years. That's by far the biggest place that your revenue comes from. Your revenue from other government services besides taxing, that's for fees and that sort of thing, and that'll amount to about $15,000. And the property taxes that would be assessed would be $37,000. So the total amount is $450,000 for the city over the 10-year period, and those are the benefits. And if you look on the cost side, you subtract those property taxes, you take those back out. They were built an income and expense in our methodology. And then there's also a sales tax exemption that the firm gets on their construction materials. And even though that's not a direct cost to the city out of pocket, it's again revenue that you would have if the state taxed those things. But since they don't, we calculate the amount of the sales tax exemption, and then the cost of providing your other government services comes in at about $7,500. So your costs are really the total costs are much less than the total benefits in your case, which is why the ratio is so high. And then the benefit to the developer or the firm in this case, they get the tax abatement and they get sales tax exemption, and that's pretty much what they get on their side. In this case, it becomes a win-win for the city and for the firm, and certainly for your patients that would be coming to dialysis locally instead of having to travel someplace else. So those are the main parts of the report. We could go through the other pages one by one, but those are the main points that I show for you. And we could, there's another page here that shows the resulting numbers for each of the taxing entities. and everybody makes out pretty well in this case, except for the extension district, which isn't affected very much. And the community college in this case doesn't quite make the 1.3. It's really close at 1.28, and that's because it doesn't really bring any students to the community college. That's a numbers game, and you're not bringing a lot of students in, so you don't get much effect there. I am open for questions. If you have questions about either how we do the report or where I get numbers, I do a lot of these for different cities and counties, and so I have a database that's built up. I'm able to make some assumptions that, based on how a lot of these happen, that this is a really high ratio for the city of Fort Scott, as I said, for the use of utilities. So Dominic can explain to you more about the bond issuance thing, but if you have questions about this report, I'd be glad to hear those now.
All right. Any questions on the presentation?
No? Very thorough.
All right, thank you, sir. I think at this
Okay.
point, we will move on to the representative from Gilmore and Bell.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dominic Eck with Gilmore and Bell. Thanks for having us this evening.
You speak up more into the,
Sure, is that better?
that's better.
All right. So the item tonight is the first step in the IRB process. As you've heard, the IRB process, when there is a property tax abatement involved, requires the preparation of a cost-benefit analysis, which Mr. Rob just presented, and also the holding of a public hearing, which you had previously opened. Following those items, you're able to consider a resolution of intent. If you approve that resolution of intent, that signals the strong intent of the city to follow through with a bond issuance at a later meeting. In the interim, the sales tax exemption certificate can be obtained and begin to be relied upon for construction of the project. Timing of when the actual bond issuance will occur is a little bit up for discussion still. It could be that we'd be back in December asking for an approval of bond documents in order to effect the property tax abatement as of January 1 of 26, or it could be that we come back after the first of the year and effect the abatement starting January 1 of 27. But again, tonight's action is to just consider this resolution of intent. Happy to answer any other questions you have on the process.
That was a lot to take in.
Well, again, we're talking about a property tax exclusion, we're talking about a sales tax, but there's no out-of-pocket cash up front from the
There's
city.
no out-of-pocket cash up front from the city. It's a little unique in that we're taking existing property off the tax rolls. So what that does is that impacts your overall assessed valuation for the city, but you're correct. There's no cash outlay here. Industrial revenue bonds are not a debt of the city. They do not count against the city's debt limit. The city is in no way obligated to make any sort of payments on industrial revenue bonds. They are what is referred to as a conduit bond issue. And they're a conduit, meaning the city is the facilitator for the bond issue, and the main purpose is to access these two state-level incentives of the property tax abatement and the sales tax exemption. So not any outpouring of money now nor in the future related to the industrial revenue bonds. It's a foregoing of those two property tax and sales tax revenue streams.
Is there any limit to the amount of revenue bonds that we can have out at any given time?
There is not a limit on industrial revenue bonds that can be outstanding, no.
So if we give this one away, we give 5 million away next month, we give 20 million away the month after that, we're still fine, we've got
No.
lots of room. There's no-
Correct. No limit on what you can do from an industrial revenue bond perspective.
I think the key to that, Commissioner, is that we're not.
Your microphone, Bob.
I'm sorry. I think the key to that is we're not financially obligated to pay the debt.
Right.
All we are is providing the conduit based on the analysis that we've got.
Correct.
I just know with a lot of the other bonds within the city, we have a limit on the amount of bonds we can
Correct.
have outstanding.
Yes, and industrial revenue bonds are exempt from that debt limit calculation. They don't apply, and it's exactly as Mr. Farmer said, because you're not obligated to pay them back.
Any other questions for the bond attorney, for the gentleman that gave the cost-benefit analysis, or for Dr. Nadine?
No, I just had one question. Do we collect anything in property tax on that facility now? It's not occupied, is it?
Correct, we do.
We do? Oh,
It's taxed.
okay,
They're up to date.
okay.
We have.
Any
we have for
question?
several
Oh,
years.
sorry, go ahead.
I had one final question for Dr. Nadine. Will you be owning the building, or is it a group of people owning the building for you?
So at the time, it's me.
Okay.
I did have a couple of questions. First of all, you're saying 7 or 8 employees, and I know that there's at least one person here that seems eligible and lives like in Nevada. But is there any? I know you're saying like our local wages, but is there any kind of process or guarantee or something that you will attempt to hire locally, or that these people will relocate to Fort Scott? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, so I
resident-wise.
think that's a great question. I know that there's probably more local talent than we had before, and especially with more healthcare coming in the community, there's probably already, nurses and techs that have relocated. Happy to work with the dialysis provider to issue jobs and try to issue it locally, and I can work with the city to issue those job openings so we can recruit locally, because I think that would be really important.
Okay, yeah, I figured, but I just wanted to make sure if there was like a team you were bringing or
Yeah.
something, but okay. All right. I think that actually, you answered both of them right there, so thank you. Okay.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the folks that are sitting in the audience? All right, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
A second.
Tim Van Hook,
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
All right, in consideration of initializing the industrial revenue bonds,
A motion that we would move forward with the resolution number 40-2025.
Second?
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
yes. Congratulations, Dr. Nadine, and
Thank you, Dr. Nadine.
best of luck to you in getting it up and running. Okay, item B, under new business, consideration of resolution number 252825, resolution directing repair or removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 18 South Holbrook, tabled from September 16th, 2025.
Motion to open the public hearing regarding consideration of resolution number 25-2025.
Second?
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes?
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
So this particular structure was brought before the city before. We asked to take a look at it for the land bank. The land bank has done their due diligence. The county has assured us this structure will be on the tax sale upcoming in the next few months. The city would, through the land bank, like to purchase this particular structure at that tax sale and use it in the land bank, find someone to move forward with the project.
So, Code's representative is here. I mean, thank you for the pictures. I drove by and looked at it myself as well. Any updates? I mean, the owner is deceased.
Yeah, we've made attempts to talk with family members and things like that, and basically this would just be whether they could clear the title or the the deed to the house, that's up to them.
If we can purchase it through the tax sale, then we will be able to have a clean title through the purchase of the tax sale. That would be the way the city would be able to incorporate it into the land bank.
Sounds good to me.
And what if land bank don't get it?
Somebody else buys it in the tax sale?
And then it just sets and dilapidates further.
I guess we can tear it down then.
I mean, is there anyone interested in rehabbing it now?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be possible for them to come in here and express that? Because we've had, just in my last 4 years, we've had a lot of folks that have come in with good intentions that have said, I promise we're going to, and I know Codes hears this all the time, I promise 60 days, 90 days, or whatever, and then bottom line, we end up taking it down. Anyway, again, a lot of times my concern is not only the unsafe structure itself. In this particular case here, this house has had police interdictions of people flopping in the house. And to me, I'm always concerned about the quality of life for the neighbors that live around that house as well. So,
Well, this particular structure is not dangerous. It is not unsafe. It is an extremely structurally sound house. It's, other than the front porch, it's really in pretty darn good shape compared to the other homes around it. It's probably one of the nicer ones in that area. So the dangerous and unsafe is not necessarily an issue. If it's the people getting in through that rear window, the land bank has already talked about sending somebody over there to board up that window so they can't get in that one window anymore.
We want to set a price for how high we're willing to go to acquire that property?
That's really up to the land.
Yep.
yeah.
Okay,
It isn't any of our money. I say
Okay.
our money,
Yeah.
your money.
yeah.
Who owns the property?
They were deceased.
They're dead.
So there's no heirs?
No. So like I said, the land bank has checked with the county, and the county has assured us this house is on the tax sale that will be upcoming.
When's this, do we know when the tax sale is?
I was looking to my other land bank member. He has stepped out. I think it
No,
is
good there.
January.
Sir, are you the representative security officer for this evening?
Yes.
Okay. So give me an idea of what type of police interactions that have taken place. I mean, just people flopping in the house?
And neighbors reported people that they knew didn't belong to the residence going in the front south side of the structure. Twice they've been called there. Twice they've found people sleeping in the residence. So that's the extent of it.
Is there anyone, I know the answer, but I mean, it is a public hearing, so we have to ask. Is there anyone representing 18 South Holbrook that would like to speak? If the owner's deceased, I'm going to run out of the room if this voice starts.
I don't have a dollar amount, but it's just mowing fees for the last couple of years. So, and taxes. Yeah, it hasn't had taxes paid on it since.
2021.
Yes.
At least that's what the county reported to the land bank.
Yes, 2021.
Okay. Any other questions for Officer Kruger?
No.
Okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook,
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion regarding next steps for Resolution 25, 2025, regarding 18 South Holbrook?
The land bank would request that they be able to purchase this building at the tax sale in January.
Okay. Well, I mean, still need a motion, though.
Okay. Motion to allow the land bank an opportunity to purchase this property at the tax auction in January. And if it is not acquired, to proceed with removal of the alleged and unsafe dangerous structure at 18 South Holbrook.
Seconded.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey,
No.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Okay, item C, consideration of resolution number 35, 2025, a resolution directing the repair or removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 1815 East Oak.
Motion that we open a public hearing.
Second.
Consideration, yeah, okay.
There's a lot of these tonight.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Codes Officer Kruger, thank you for the pictures. Is there any other information regarding this property that you can provide to the commission?
There is no updates. I don't believe I provided you with the information on this house, that the taxes haven't been paid since 2022, the last time around, so I will make that known to you.
Or is this the,
I'm Sean Cameron. Marilyn was my adopted mom. Everything's going to probate. She just passed away within the past month. I had talked to Leroy at one point in time before. We've been keeping up with the mowing and stuff too. The city has mowed once or twice over there at Mom's at that address. We own the house adjacent through the alley as well, but I was trying to talk to our neighbor because the houses sit super close together, and Todd was always wanting to buy that property anyway. Mom had became to where after she got out of the neurological ICU, her brain and stuff didn't work right, so it was a hard time trying to get her to decide on anything. So until I can get through probate or whatever, my hands have pretty well been tied with everything.
Do you have a time frame on what probate will go?
Well, I don't know exactly. I know this week I'm getting the death certificates finally. I talked to the attorney over in Allen County, and he's going to help me with the probate and everything else because he had already done it with Mom before.
what's your, I mean, if this house falls to you, what's your intention?
My intent would be to try to sell it to Todd, the neighbor that's there, and if he didn't want it, I was going to actually remove the house because Leroy is correct. That house is in bad shambles. And
It is.
It'd be too much money to try to reinvest in remodeling it or anything else, especially with as close as the properties sit together. I don't see any reason for
So what you're literally trying to do is see whether or not the neighbor would want to buy it for the land,
Yes, sir.
not for the structure.
No, sir, not for the structure, for the land.
You know if the neighbor has the intent to remove the building, if he...
Yes,
acquires
that would be
property?
his intent as well.
Okay.
Okay. Take me back again, Brad, from the time that we vote on this resolution right here, how long before how much time do you think you would need? 30 days, 60 days?
60's fine.
Can we pass it with the understanding that if in 60 days that it hasn't taken place, that we can then take the house down?
I have one thing to add.
It's like,
Yeah, the motion.
yeah.
Bob?
Wait, well, go ahead. No, Leroy has something to add too. I just want to make sure.
I would agree with everything Mr. Cameron said, except for the lawn care. The city has done the majority of the lawn care this year.
Okay. So it's almost a contingency motion I'm looking at, Bob, here, to where, you know,
Well, what if you tabled this hearing? In other words, you've got your publication and all that, so we're don't have to redo all that stuff.
Just table it for 60 days. And
Well, I would say 120 days to be on the safe side. And then if that doesn't happen, then you can take your action.
We can just resume where we're, pick up where we left off.
Exactly. That's my thought.
Leroy, do you have any immediate concerns about waiting that long?
The house is open. Windows are open, doors are open. My concern would be that by the time you pay the back taxes and the demolition, it's going to far exceed the value of the property.
And the mowing fees?
Yes. If we charge them, then it's going to be an astronomical amount for someone to have to cover.
Do you have any concern about the safety of the structure between now and 120 days?
It's in really bad shape. I mean, the roof is questionable. Like I said, it's open to the elements. The worst elements that we have are on their way.
Yeah.
So
Sir,
yeah, I would
you-
have concern.
Pardon me, sir? Are you able to secure that?
Yes, sir, I can go over and board everything up. I can plywood over the windows and stuff if that's what Leroy needs me to do. Whatever I need to do, I can go over and do. I mean,
Okay.
Just though, that's going to be pretty expensive. It's,
Yeah.
the plywood you're going to buy is probably going to be worth more than what the house is.
I do reconstruction and remodeling all the time. I've already got the materials.
Okay.
I guess I'm wondering which is the more cost-effective for the city and for this gentleman, I mean, to wait this out and see. It sounds like it's going to be an expensive, like any profit you might get from selling it is going to probably be more than eaten up by the demo and everything. I guess I'm trying to understand
Well,
which way it makes
if,
more sense.
if he sells the house to the neighbor will demo the house. The city won't demo the house, so he won't have to pay
Okay.
the city for the
That makes sense.
demolition.
I thought you having to tear it down was
Yeah.
part of the deal.
So,
Okay, I
yeah.
got it.
The hope,
If
the
it
hope,
comes to tearing the house down, I've got buddies that have skid
Yeah.
steers and we have trash roll-offs too that we can remove the house. That's not an issue.
the hope would be that he can either sell it to this individual, they'll tear it down, or that he tears it down, and then the city doesn't have to expend the funds.
No, that sounds great. I
to tear
just
it down.
wanted to make sure
The only
we
reason I
weren't
was trying to do
screwing
that was
everybody
so I
over.
could get the money from him to be able to pay the back taxes that were owed on it and everybody's a win-win.
Yes, sir.
No, that's great. Thank you. I just
My
want to
only
make sure.
concern is just that we keep vagrants out and that we prevent, children from going in and getting harmed. So, okay.
Did you have anything else, Leroy?
I know the owner that lives next door. I can put in a call to him tomorrow and see what his intentions are to make, sure that he's willing to put out these expenditures for this property.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you give them a rough idea what those expenditures are.
Yep.
Okay,
Will you let us know, like, at a future meeting what he says?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
all right.
Okay.
And move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Is it currently on the tax sale? It's not.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells,
Yes.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
On the advice of our council, I would motion that on resolution number 35-2025, we table this for 120 days.
Pending that we give direction to city codes to instruct the current owner to secure the property before that 120 days, within the next, how long do you need?
It'll be done by this weekend, sir.
Okay,
And what if,
within the,
you want to add into that as well, what if Leroy comes back in here the next meeting and says, I've talked to the neighbor and he says he wants no part of it?
well, then it's still tabled.
Yeah, but not for 120, I wouldn't want to wait 120 days then to wait to bring it back around again.
Okay.
Well, he's going to tear it down if he doesn't sell it to the neighbor.
I just suggested 120 days because it's probate.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's, yeah.
You can short
Right.
it up. That's all.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we can always
You
vote-
lawyers would get off the golf course and do a little work once in
always
a while.
vote to table again.
You can advise this next meeting.
Okay.
And then we can decide whether or not, based on his feedback, whether or not we want to change the 120 days on it. Because to your point, the crummy weather, the heavy weather's coming, and this one is in bad shape.
Do you want to amend your motion?
I would amend my motion to include that the gentleman here will secure the structure and get with codes on that.
Second.
Matthew Wells,
Yes.
J.C. Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
No.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Okay. Item D, consideration of resolution number 36-2025, directing the repair, removal, and alleged unsafe dangerous structure at 1626 East Pine. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open a public hearing.
Second?
J.C. Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Is there, go ahead, Leroy.
Nothing new on this house to add, other than the taxes haven't been paid for last year. It's just the 1 year behind. Nothing else has changed. No communication, nothing new.
House is uninhabited.
Yes.
Is there anyone here representing 1626 East Pine?
Are the utilities still connected, or?
I don't know.
Okay. I was wondering, have you seen it? Is it rehabilitable?
In my opinion, yes. I mean, it's a really neat little house. And the roof is old, but no parts of the roof are bad yet. It's missing siding on a couple of spots.
Yeah, there's some sagging in the roof.
Beg to differ, but
Are the owners alive?
Yes.
They are. Do they have an intent for the property?
This has been on my list for a really long time, and I've worked with them for more than a year to take care of their property. I've met with promises that never happen. They don't even mow their own lawn. We do all the upkeep on the lawn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've made attempts and waited over a year to bring this before you, and I just get nowhere with it. So it's actually dilapidated more over the last year. I mean, it's one of those things that if we just continue to do nothing, we just wait for the houses to get to the point where they fall in. And
are they behind on their taxes on this one too?
that one didn't get paid last year.
They paid last year.
Behind a year.
So they're only a year behind.
So we don't know if public utilities have been disconnected.
The
I did-
electricity and the gas and everything are still hooked up.
They are.
I mean, at least, yeah. The wires still ran to the electric mast, the gas pipe is still.
Well, they
Right.
don't
They
the
just
electric,
pull the
they don't
meter.
Yeah.
they don't,
Yeah,
they
they
just
don't pull
take the
They pull the
units
meter.
off the meters off the house.
When it gets knocked down, they
The cans are still there, so they just take the meters off, so.
if it got knocked down is when they come and
Yep.
do all that.
I mean, the structure's secured from the outside, right?
Yeah, all the windows and doors are there.
Has this had any type of building permit issued on it?
It has.
That's what I thought, because I went by this house and looked at it, and actually walked up on the porch, and there was a building permit
Yeah,
that
that's,
was hanging half on, half off of the front door that was,
that's part of,
pretty
that's
old.
part of the promises that have been made and not kept on this building, yeah.
and they haven't expressed any interest in selling it. They haven't expressed,
I don't, that's not something I ask.
you know. Okay. Move to close the public hearing?
Seconded.
I mean, we could reach out to them, yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes. Commissioner Wells, if you think you could find somebody with interest in rehabbing this building?
I would think that there would be somebody interested in it, yes. I don't know, I haven't done any work on this one yet. I'd have to bring it to the land bank, and then we'd have to reach out to them, see if they would be willing to donate it to the land bank, or see if they would be willing to sell it to somebody. I mean, this is one of those ones that somebody would not need a great investment to turn it into a decent house. But I do understand what Leroy is saying,
Yeah,
that they
I know.
haven't done anything either.
Yeah, like I
I'm not
said,
gonna
when I
argue
walked
that
up
point.
on the front porch, there was the traditional good intention building permit hanging half on, half off
I know.
the door.
I know. I'm loath to remove a structure that's not either a public hazard or not unable to, or able to be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
Affordable housing is in such short supply. If you can find somebody to rehab 18 South Holbrook, I could only imagine that somebody like-minded.
I don't disagree with you, but at a certain point, you can't just say, well, we're demoing it, and then you use the land bank to try to get them to involve. It's kind of trying to do something backhanded, in my opinion. We've tried to get contractors to fix houses that way, and it don't work out. These people own this property.
I know.
If they wanted to sell it for $1 to someone to fix it, they could. Instead, it just sits there.
Are you able to reach out to the current property owners, see if they have any interest in selling the property?
That's not something I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
To what he just said is
You're
the reason
mixing-
I won't do it is, if I'm
Sure.
telling somebody I'm going to tear their house down, then I say, hey, you want to sell it? I mean, that just doesn't give off a good appearance. I'm not going to do that.
ethically sound.
I got two things to add, and if I'm out of line, I apologize in advance. But two things. When these houses, and I know Mr. Van Hookey said this many times, when these houses get to this point, when they're a blight on the neighborhood, that's one thing you have to consider as well. There's over 200 houses here that are empty that need rehabbed. So that's something else to think about. But here's what if I overstep or if my statement is out of line, I apologize in advance, but it needs to be said. This is a waste of my time to get to this point in the procedure, and then we say, let's go see what the land bank can do. You guys know what's on my list. You know what's coming up. This needs to be done before we get to this stage of the game, in my opinion, and I apologize if I overstep, but that's...
Absolutely not.
No, you're fine.
No, I wouldn't agree or disagree. I'm just, before they ever get to the step, we make a motion and a vote to get to this step for a notice.
I know.
So
And I can understand the codes team's frustration at times too, when, they are the trusted officers of the city to go out and their judgment, and I know different people around the table have different experiences, but it seems like a lot of times we second guess these guys as much as we agree with them, and that's fine. But again, to his point, I go out to all these houses and walk around and look at them. I don't claim to be a structural engineer, but I do know what quality of life is for the people that live around those houses that have looked at them for a long time. I've talked with ladies before that lived in beautiful old houses met them on their front porch, and I said, what a beautiful house, what a beautiful porch. And she said, yeah, I used to have my coffee out here every day, but I can't stand to look at that over there anymore. And they're paying their taxes. So, you have to consider that as well. So with that said, on this one, since we've closed the public hearing, I will make the motion to proceed with the resolution directing the repair or removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 1626 East Point Street.
seconded.
And that's for removal?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
No.
J.C. Dancer.
No.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Okay, consideration of resolution number 37, 2025, resolution directing the repair, removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 1403 East Oak. Yeah, this one shocked me because at first I thought it didn't look that bad on the front till you drove around the back of it and the whole wall's missing.
Yep.
That was interesting, but anyway, anything you can share with us on that, please?
There,
No, we need to open the hearing.
Oh, my apologies.
A motion that we open the public hearing for resolution number 36-2025.
37.
I'm sorry, 37-2025.
Second.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
J.C. Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes. Okay.
This house, they have been over there doing things.
Oh, do tell.
I wouldn't say that they've made any progress on making the house safe or structurally sound, but they are doing some work on it. They've torn off more of the structure. They have dug a hole, I'm going to assume, for footings. But the house is completely open in the back. So if you want to give them more time to see what they're able to do with the house, I'm fine with that.
What have they told you they're going to do with the house? I mean, you've gone by and saw them doing things.
Do they have a permit?
They have a permit. The owner says he's going to rebuild the house and make it, he says, the beauty of the neighborhood.
Oh.
How long is this? I'm assuming this has been going on the whole time.
Yeah, they've been working on it for the last 2 or 3. Well, they started working on it about a week after I brought it to you the first time.
Well, effort is more than we see most of the time with owners, it seems like.
Has
so,
it been
yeah.
consistent effort or just like only when you're looking?
They're over there every day.
Okay.
I wanna leave
Has
it.
that been addressed yet?
No, it's worse.
It's worse.
Right, that gaping hole?
Yeah, they've torn off most of the backside of the house, and like I said, they've dug. I'm gonna assume it's a footing. It looks really deep for a footing, but they've dug a hole where I'm gonna assume they're gonna put the footing for a new foundation. Yes, the taxes are paid up. They're current. They're not doing things how I would do it, but I can't say that they're wrong.
And then obviously, though, the house, while the work is being done, is not secure.
Not from my perspective, no, because it's got 2x4s holding up the roof because they've torn out about 6 or 8 feet of structure, and the pitch is being held up by 2x4s while they do the work. My only concern would be being able to finish it, before the elements hit.
I mean,
There's a lot of work to do.
We had a building down here on Main Street that had no front on it for more than 6 months. And barely even had, engineer tape up, so.
Right.
It'd be hard to fault them for that.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you say they're actively working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're there most days.
What do you
Somebody
think?
is.
Sorry. What do you think would be a reasonable time to bring it back before us if we were to table this for a while? I'm just thinking weather would have to slow them down at some point, maybe, or maybe speed them up if they're trying to be inside.
I'm assuming
I
they're
don't know
aware.
because of the rate that they're working at now. I would have to say you would have to give them 6 months or something like that. The house is very unsafe as it sits with it being open. But I don't want to take away their opportunity to fix it if they're truly going to put the money forth and do it. So this one, I yield to you guys.
You think they can secure just to keep, people out?
My opinion that they're going to spend way, way more on the repairs than the house will ever be worth. But the guy that owns it probably does have the money to do it, so it's on
Okay.
him.
Can we advise or direct them to secure the premises to?
We can.
Okay.
I'm assuming they knew it was hearing tonight. I mean, they got notice and
Yes.
knew they were potentially doing all this work for
Mhm.
nothing. And
Well, I advised them that I was going to go through with the process and monitor their progress. They have been working on it, and it's just been a slow process for them.
just surprising they'd do all that and then not be here.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
Work nights.
if there, I guess I keep thinking about that house that's on a really close to Winfield Scott on the corner of Crawford that used to have now it's red with black shutters, but it used to be white with like a 1940s roof that was falling in, and it works worse than this, and now it is really a beautiful house. So if they're actually working on it, that's what I would want to have happen and give them the opportunity for it. So anyway, just my
I
thoughts.
take no issue with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody give an effort than none at all, because none at all is what we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So,
I would move to
Okay.
close the public hearing.
Second.
Matthew Wells,
Yes.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
I would motion to table this resolution with direction to the codes officer to direct that the owner secure the property and make it safe for, neighborhood children.
Yeah.
For a period of 30 days.
I second.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Okay, we move to open the public hearing on item F, consideration resolution number 38-2025, a resolution directing the repair or removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 505 South Couch.
Second.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes. Has anything changed on this property? I think it was a topic of
One
discussion.
update that I'll give on this one. The taxes haven't been paid on this one since 2020. And I'll reiterate my statement from last time. This house has no redeeming qualities.
Sorry.
Is there anybody here speaking on behalf of 505 Couch? Motion to close the public hearing?
I second.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Propose that we, move that we approve and direct the removal of an alleged unsafe and dangerous structure at 505 South Couch.
I second.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Yes. Thank you, Officer Kruger.
Thank you.
Codes Officer
Thank you.
Kruger. Okay, action items, per the amended agenda, item A is being moved to the next meeting. Item B, consideration of 2026 city holiday schedule. Brad Matkin.
You should have in your packets, Commissioners, the 2026 proposed holiday schedule for the city of Fort Scott. Just something we do every year that we bring forth to you to approve. And we didn't add anything. We just moved the floating holiday around since Christmas next year is on a Friday. So we didn't have to take the day after Christmas. We did move the floating holiday to June 19th, which is a Friday. Hand in hand with what the county does.
For Juneteenth?
Yes.
Okay.
A motion that we approve the 2026 holiday schedule is presented.
Second.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Item C, consideration of ordinance number 3791, ordinance providing for the salaries of the appointed officers and employees of the city of Fort Scott, Kansas, and replacing ordinance number 3779.
This is another, another ordinance that we do each year. We update it every year with the new ordinance number, and that is our salary schedule for all members of the staff of the city of Fort Scott.
A motion that we approve ordinance number 3791 as presented.
Second.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes.
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Item D, consideration of ordinance number 3787, an ordinance amending Chapter 10.04 of the Fort Scott Municipal Code to incorporate the standard traffic ordinance by reference repealing and replacing ordinance number 3772.
Lisa, do you know about this?
This is another one that we just, as they
It's-
update every year, we just replace with the new.
It delegates which traffic offenses will be handled at the county level and which ones will be handled at the city level. And there were no changes to it from last year?
There were.
Yes.
In the ordinance, you'll see what the additions were, what the changes were.
Okay.
Yeah, the passing a stationary vehicle displaying caution or hazard signals.
Yep. Any questions for our legal counsel or the city clerk?
No.
Yeah, this is one of those renewed every year.
Passed this same ordinance for at least 45 years that I know of.
Yeah. All right. Well, I would move to approve ordinance number 3787, ordinance amending Chapter 10.04 of the Fort Scott Municipal Code to incorporate the standard traffic ordinance by reference, repealing and replacing ordinance number 3772.
Second.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes?
Dylan Olson.
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Tracy Dancer.
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury.
Yes.
Okay, item E, consideration of ordinance number 3788, an ordinance increasing the basic monthly charge for sanitary sewer rates in the city of Fort Scott by amending Chapter 13.24.100 and 13.24.110 of the Fort Scott Municipal Code and repealing ordinance number 3778.
This is also a yearly thing that started in 2011, I do believe. Not 2011, 2021, I believe. Is just a 3% increase that was put into ordinance for sanitary sewer.
This represents a 3% increase
Yes.
over last. And this, again, just to reiterate my question before the meeting, this was forecast in the 2026 budget, right? Okay. All right, that said, motion that we approve ordinance number 3788. Yeah. As presented.
Second?
Dylan Olson,
Nope.
Matthew Wells,
No.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes?
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey.
Yes. And again, I mean, if we want to, when we do the budget for next year, look at these again, but I mean, these have been in those existing ordinances that have rolled each year.
I know, I just, the logic of, this is the way we've always done it, just,
Well, it's not necessarily that. I mean, if you look at what the CPI's been and.
Oh, no, I understand.
And cost of goods and inflation.
You have to realize back in 2017, we had a 30% increase. That's why we started.
I think that's exactly right. We used to be a little haphazard.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't raise them until it was critical. And that's, I remember the year we had a 30% increase and the citizens rightfully
Oh, no, I understand.
really
It's just,
opposed.
With the current economic forecast, if there's anything we could do to
No,
avoid this,
I agree. We should look at it at budget time.
I absolutely agree.
You
We
could
should look at
increase it 50% and still spend 50% more
Yeah.
Especially
dollars. I mean,
if,
to citizens, we inherited, what was it, $7-8 million from our wastewater plant being violated, and still we raise their rates year after year.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You could give us $50 million and we can get $50 million in wastewater projects. It's easy to spend money you have.
we're not done with Davis Lift Station yet. We don't know how many more expenditures we
I have
have.
to say, you're right, but that 50 million might have been given, but was it taken care of?
It went to projects, but I'm saying that money otherwise wouldn't have been there unless those things happened.
Unfortunately, a lot of that money went to fixing the damage at the wastewater treatment plant.
Now, there's still some that's going towards our lift stations and
Yep.
other things, but
I am more than happy and think we should look at this
Yeah.
during budget time next year.
That's-
See
yeah.
what the current economy is, current inflation rate, current cost of goods, consumer price index. And we probably need to put that bug in Ben's ear,
Ben's ear, yeah.
probably in like April.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Item F, consideration of ordinance number 3789, ordinance setting new water rates and repealing ordinance number 377 for the city of Fort Scott, Bourbon County, Kansas pursuant to the Fort Scott Municipal Code, Chapter 13.04.030.
It's the same thing. This is the water rates.
All right.
All right. I would move to approve ordinance number 3789.
I'd like just a moment. The minimum charge per month for up to 1,500 gallons is $15.56. That's the proposed, right? And right now, county citizens who pay for Fort Scott water, rural water, are paying,
Pay
was it?
more.
They pay $9.17 per 1,000 gallons. They have a service charge of $25 a month.
it's because we have access to a water source they control.
Say again?
Cedar Creek isn't our property, so when the river starts running low and we need water that don't come from Lake Fort Scott, it comes from there. That's where their added value, I guess you could say, comes from. That's why they pay what they pay.
Well, they pay less than $10 a $10 per
Right.
1,000 gallons.
But what Commissioner Olson is saying is that we have an agreement with the county as of right now that whenever the water level in the lake or the river reaches such a point where we need to start adding water to it, they will open the valves at Cedar Creek and feed that water into the Marmaton River to keep the level up.
And no
for us
cost
pull
to-
water At no cost to the city. Otherwise, we would have to open the valve more at the lake. And so it's just a way to get us an extra water source.
We were fortunate
Okay.
this year. We got into about August before we had to open Cedar Creek.
Okay.
Last year was a little bit worse, and the year before that, it was wide open all year.
But I would agree, I still don't think it's fair because, I mean, they can go buy water else, where else are they gonna buy water?
Right.
So,
I mean, they're, at the end of the day,
not
they're paying less
releasing
per
it
gallon
would,
than we are.
not releasing it only hurts everyone, but,
Right.
yeah.
Now, I believe it's a contract that we should look at and renegotiate at this point.
And they contribute to the whole system's usage, so when the water plant has to be replaced and you gotta get a bond on it, it's city residents paying, not county, when all they're paying is essentially the cost to produce it or less.
Yep.
They're not contributing to the repair of the system itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure fee of $10, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what about providing the service increased? I mean, what increased by 3%? And why? The value or the cost?
If I could, Commissioners.
Yeah, please.
Hopefully I can help. And I think somebody said something about a lot of cities do it. And really, you just passed a salary resolution. I imagine he had a target percentage across the board. And I've been working for a little while, but I always used to see the cost of living increase, it was like 3%. So if you did okay and did a good job, you got 3%. Because cost of living goes up, price of goods goes up, and that infrastructure fee is meant to maintain for the future. So he's got a good 5-10 year plan for capital improvements. So that's all thought about. So when we do, I think we did the rate study in 2021 probably, to say, here's the plan moving forward. 3% is the right number. I think we probably said 5, but 3 was what was decided. So, and that continuing that just ensures, being able to maintain the infrastructure, keep the staff, keep it going, operating, but it's ultimately up to you. You can skip a year and like Bob said, you did a 30%. That's a pretty big chunk. So that meant you didn't raise it for X number of years, but the costs accumulated, and then repairs maybe were held off and became worse. So the cost, and I've said it before, nothing gets cheaper. It's amazing, but which means then you got to pay everybody more, and everything costs more. So
I believe the
I don't know if
argument
that helps.
that year when they raised it 30% was also the price of chemicals for treating the water had gone up exponentially. And so
Yeah.
it was costing us more to produce the clean water than we were getting.
And we've seen the crazy stuff with COVID doing what it did to things was crazy. But you were able to keep that smooth with your 3% bumps. So that helped, I think, with that.
And you do construction, so you see things are going up now. And I don't, you can say tariffs, I don't know if that's exactly why. A lot of stuff are in here in the United States. But chemicals are going up, fertilizer's going up, gasoline's going up, everything we're using is going up. And do any of us want to pay this? No. I mean, I don't want to pay it either.
Well-
But it just, like we said earlier, 30%. I remember sitting in a meeting, I wasn't the city manager, and a commissioner said we should raise it 100% to catch up. And I think several people fell out of their chairs, and it got brought back down to earth to 3%, but that's where we're at, unfortunately.
Well, and the cost of chemicals and cost of producing water at the time this was passed in 2021, also, we didn't have features like the splash pad, which we were having to produce more water for. They're saying the new kidney facility is going to use a lot of water, not granted.
They pay for it.
They
They
pay
pay
for
for
it, but I mean, there are other considerations, but I mean, if anyone's got a motion they'd like to put out there on this ordinance, whether it be address it at budget time or forego the increase for this year, I think we should probably call the question on it.
I'd vote to table this until we can get feedback from Baker Tilly on whether or not we could weather the following year, the upcoming year, without increasing 3%.
Lowered the mill levy.
I do.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that we won't. I'm saying table this until we can get feedback from Baker Tilly on whether or not this city can weather current projects without a 3% increase in water.
What can they tell you I can't tell you?
Well,
What do you want to know?
what can we weather the next year without a 3% increase in water?
Not very well. I mean, you're going to be cutting something, I can tell you that. You're going to have to cut
And
something.
we run a budget surplus.
Not when you lower your mill. Not when you lower your mill, because we will not be putting money in the bank like we were last year.
Okay. I'm asking if we can weather the next year. Not asking to repeal this
I
permanently.
just told you no. So if you want to hold both of them, that's fine. Ben can come in here and sell it to you, that's fine. So.
What services are you gonna have to cut?
We'll have to look at that. What services do you want to cut?
The non-essential ones.
Huh?
Non-essential ones.
Which ones? You go general fund, those are the services. you have
What
to
are
cut.
they needing for capital expenditures?
What's that?
What are they needing for capital expenditures?
General fund items?
No, what's the water department
Water department's got,
saying they need to buy?
we have water lines.
Well, that's always a
That's
given.
infrastructure. Not sure about equipment yet.
Well, that's
I
an
doubt we have any
infrastructure fee.
equipment. I don't think we have any equipment, but we do have a lot of valves that need fixed. We still have to buy meters. That's a given every year. So and there's a lot of things we use this money for.
I understand, but we
And
also
we have
have
salary.
we also have an infrastructure fee on here.
That stays level, no matter what. That didn't go up. That didn't go up.
Right?
Yeah, everything's going up.
So-
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand.
Everything's going up that we're buying. Hey, if you want Ben to come in here, he won't be back until December the 1st. He's taking
Okay.
time off. He can come in here and explain both of them if you want to.
Please. That's my motion.
Seconded.
Matthew Wells,
Yes.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hook.
Like I said, I know we did a very good job of budgeting this year, and we don't have the surplus we did, and so I would vote no. I mean, I know I'm going to lose this one anyway, but that's my vote.
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
All right, item G, consideration of ordinance number 3790, ordinance amending the Fort Scott Stormwater User Charge and repealing ordinance number 3776 for the city of Fort Scott.
Same thing as the other two. Just this one's stormwater. That's another charge on the water bill.
Discussion, motion?
I'm trying to remember what exactly this is for. I understand that, it's based on impervious area.
Your stormwater system, your drainage systems, things
Right.
like that. Your street sweeper, the staff that goes into that area. We will need a new street sweeper, but that's in the capital. Sure we can hold off if we need to on that. Figure it out.
Brad, what would be the impact if we didn't?
This isn't near, to me, stormwater is not near as impactful as the water.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you need Ben to come in and talk about it, we can come in when, I don't know when the first meeting of December is.
I think it's December 2nd.
Yeah.
I think he'll be back, but then he said December something.
Okay. Motion to table ordinance number 3790, pending feedback from Ben on December 2nd.
Seconded.
Tracy Dancer,
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury,
Yes.
Tim Van Hookey,
No?
Dylan Olson,
Yes.
Matthew Wells.
Yes.
Okay, last item on the agenda, discussion of ordinance for limit on number of dogs.
So this was brought up, I've actually had 4 citizens bring this up, but several over the last few years about the amount of dogs that one household can have. In our ordinance, and you all had it actually, I didn't need to send it to you. There is really nowhere, I talked to the ex-dog catcher, previous, I guess he was 10 years ago, he was dog catcher. He thought there was a dog, how many you could have per household. We cannot find it in the ordinance. So
It's in the code.
if you want to, in the kennel, well, there you go, for a kennel.
Yeah,
As a
but it says,
kennel.
it's
3.
3, and it's for the purposes of breeding, raising, or as pets.
So
So
it's-
3 is the
I don't
limit.
think it's in this deal.
No, it's not in the ordinance, it's just in the codes.
So that's the one that I was asking for
Yeah.
earlier. So it does say 3.
So we need to put in the.
It needs to probably be in the ordinance, yeah.
But the question on that, though, is if you're breeding them, you might have 3, 1 male and 2 sires, but, or 2 female, but once the puppies are there,
You have too many.
then you have too many.
Yeah.
Well, then you become a
Then you
kennel.
become kennel, you
Yeah.
gotta register as a kennel.
I can tell you that where I used to live at, the limit was 3. And if somebody wanted to have a number above 3, they had to spell out that number and they had to go around to every single neighbor on that block and have them sign a form that was produced by the city stating that they had no issue with that. And the whole time I was there in my neighborhood, not one of those letters got all the way through. Because you got 5, 6 dogs in the backyard barking. I mean, that's an option we can look at adding into that, if they're willing to confer with the neighbors and get sign off on everybody?
I mean, I'd be happy to add that to whatever the ordinance is, in the case that somebody wants to have more dogs and the neighbors are okay with it, then they should have that right to go ahead and pursue that avenue.
But for now, the limit is
3.
officially 3.
Yeah.
Is that for a kennel or?
Yeah, it's also for personal.
Or as pets,
Or
yeah,
as
so it's anybody, yeah.
That's-
If you got more
That's
than
what I
that, you
thought
got to
it had
register as a
said, but I
kennel.
I
yeah.
could not find it when I was looking for it earlier.
So basically, in your scenario, if someone was going to register as a kennel,
Yeah.
that would involve needing to have all the neighbors say it's okay.
Yeah, well, it
Just
was
as-
similar.
Just as a suggestion.
Yeah, it
but
was similar to when the vet opened up over by your house over there. They came in here, presented, the questions were asked, how many dogs, are they boarded outside, the whole 9 yards. And, I mean,
Yeah.
I love dogs. I couldn't have ever imagined having 4 of them, but there are also people in town, though, that do fosters of dogs until they can find a permanent home, which might put them above that 3 level. So,
We did have a young lady, I believe it was 2 years ago, that had wanted to, and she was right on the edge of town.
Yep.
She had wanted a kennel, and at least 2 of her neighbors did not want those dogs there. And so we had to end up denying her the ability to run that kennel based upon that
Yeah.
code right there and the fact that her neighbors were not okay with it. So,
Right, because it involves rezoning and conditional use.
yeah, we could have granted a conditional use permit at that particular junction.
oh, another concern too is a lot of folks that love dogs and have a lot of dogs don't always make sure all those dogs have had their shots and that they have been registered with the city as well. I still see dogs running around town. They have collars on, they're loose, but they've got no vaccination tags or registration tags on them. So,
So this, what's presented here as a clause here, that shall be the duty of the keeper of the city prison, who's designated as the keeper of the city pound, to prepare a receptacle in which he shall keep all dogs brought to him under the operation of the preceding sections of this chapter. City prison? I mean,
Something we just
Well,
don't do.
a lot of
I mean,
these
that's-
are very outdated.
yeah.
This is one of those sections that really needs to be looked at.
so it sounds like, I mean, the existing ordinance and what we'd like to have happen would be add the statement on. And, I mean, I'm happy to find the verbiage in the statement and provide it that needs to be added to that regarding
Exceeding 3?
exceeding 3 in the process, and provide that to the city manager, the city attorney, and the clerk.
Who would be collecting the dog tax? Is that the,
They come up here.
They come up here and get their, they have to bring in the rabies certification up here, and then they get their city tags.
Yeah, we were just talking, we have so many rentals here, maybe compared to where you lived. Would you ask the owner of the house of the neighbors or the tenant, and then the tenants change a lot of the
Well, that is
neighbors?
a-
I don't know, we're just kind of this sidebar.
Yeah, that is a
like,
good question.
For
because
the,
a rental person could literally be the deciding vote that locked that neighborhood into that forever. You know, so that is good feedback. I think it should probably be the actual property owner and not the tenant.
we were just wondering if that needed to be considered.
So the question on that they would get would need to have a question on this, said, do you rent or own this property? Good point. Okay. Any other discussion on that item? All right. Let's move on to discussion on ordinance for limit of engineers. Jason, you're up.
That's perfect, you just need one. Yeah, update, we're kind of, didn't move too much on National Avenue, kind of focused a lot of our effort on the Davis Lift Station, the bid and all that stuff. And I think the directors and Brad and I met this morning and kind of talked through a plan ahead, so, which I think must be going to the next meeting. So we'll have a recommendation and what we would like to do on that for the next meeting. And I don't think I have anything else. Pending any questions?
Questions for Jason?
Sorry, I'm trying to find it. There was a contract for us to consider from Earl's.
That was on the
That was on the
lift station.
lift
out
station.
there.
Okay, so that's not it. All right, well, then I guess I'll ask you later.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, very good. All right.
Thank you.
City Attorney?
The only thing I've got to say is that I think our downtown looks pretty good. Our city crews have done a great job of putting up the Christmas lights again. And I was coming down tonight, and those lights are on, and I thought, we look pretty special. Let's keep up the good work.
What was it like being at that first Christmas, Bob? No. Was it really as magical as they say?
It's cold.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The wind is blowing.
I'm no spring chicken either,
And there
Bob.
wasn't any indoor plumbing.
Yeah. All right, city manager?
So we've got Eddy Street between 8th to 10th is completed. It's actually, we had to keep it closed so it could cool down, but it is complete. It's asphalted, guttering.
It looked great.
Intersections, everything's done. So it's done. We will be starting the intersection at 8th and Eddy to do the stormwater drains. That'll probably be in December when we'll concrete that. One thing we will need to look at over the next couple weeks to a month, we've got a lot of streets, or at least a couple I know of, that are very tight when you have two cars parked on each side. I'm going to talk to Chief Pickard about going out with me to look at those streets. We've got a couple that I know of, but he may know more. And
Yeah, I can give you a list.
It's probably a more of a safety concern for our public safety or fire to try to get down if needed. If you've got two cars parked on each side, you're not getting an engine down, or a school bus, more than likely. So we'll be doing that, and we'll bring that to the next couple of meetings. We'll talk about getting, probably just like they do on Broadway, park on one side only.
Yeah, you might check, one of them you might jot down is on the north side of 6th and Wilson, where the beacon is. And I know there's a lot of people going in and out of there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're
Yeah, it
slammed
gets
on
tight.
both sides of the street, and people, and sometimes with kids.
So
they-
Fifth,
The north side of 6th.
North side of 6th, yeah.
Yeah, just at the intersection there to the north side of Wilson.
Right by the beacon.
Right by the beacon.
Yeah,
Sometimes
between
folks-
5th and 6th
Yeah,
on Wilson.
you know, kids come out between those cars and stuff, and they're excited and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's tough, because it's tough to get a truck through if
Oh, yeah.
the cars are lined up there as well.
And one that the bus drivers had asked me to ask you about, Brad, was Little Street between 3rd and 6th.
Yeah.
We could either make that one just either no parking or one side only, because like you said, when they get vehicles parked on both sides, I mean, it's like an inch.
It needs to be widened.
When you're getting
It's
that bus
actually on
down
the
there.
street. It's on the street plan to be widened, because it's almost one way anyway. So it's pretty bad. That's all I've got.
All you got? Okay, very good. Commissioner Salisbury.
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry, before I went to you. City clerk? Again, nothing.
Nothing.
She's got weeks to prepare. Commissioner Wells?
I was asked to mention about the dump trucks on Crawford Street again. Apparently, they were using Crawford again when they were hauling.
Dump truck?
Yes, sir, unfortunately. So if we could ask them to not drive up and down Crawford with those dump trucks when they're loaded. And then I was asked to bring this to the commission as a whole, something to consider, and that is the possibility of a conditional use permit for stables. This would be on the north side of town, past the Marmaton River. This individual was wanting to know if this commission would consider issuing a conditional use permit.
Don't we already have the sale barn there?
The cell barn is over in that area.
Yeah,
And
so it
it,
makes sense.
it is like, it is either, does it have a conditional use permit or it's outside the city limits? How does that work?
The cell barn's outside the city limits.
That's what I thought, okay. So this particular property is technically, there's a little outlier that goes out and grabs this piece of property. It's right up against 54 Highway, way over on the north side of the Marmaton River. So this.
By the Red Barn?
Yeah, it'd be out near the Red Barn.
They would need to come to the
Yeah.
Planning and Zoning Commission
I
and
mean-
start the paperwork and do that. Yeah.
We'll consider anything, but they've got to go through the process.
No. They were just wondering, before they went through the process and everything, if we would even consider that.
I can hear and smell the sale barn from my house, so
When
I'm
you
not
say
gonna-
stables, are you talking about like a business type venture or?
No, this would more be just a place to store maybe up to 12 to 14 horses.
And they're in city limits?
Theoretically, that piece of property
Well, they're
is,
going to need a kennel.
They own the land already?
no, not yet. This would all be part of the, whether or not they're even going to consider, going through the process, looking at all the thing.
Yeah. I'll
Their first
consider
thing
it.
was, would this commission even consider?
But they're in city limits?
That piece of property is
Hmm.
technically within the city limits. It's out next to Max's Way Station and all that, so, yeah. The way that little piece jumps out
Yeah.
right there, it grabs that and then comes back down near Belltown and comes back down, but then the cell barn is right outside the city limits on the other side.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but again, I'd have to see
Yeah, I'll
everything, and have to
definitely
go to the
entertain
planning
it, yeah.
commission, and have to go.
Is it just keeping horses?
Yeah, it would just be keeping some horses in some stables.
Glue factory.
It would be.
Fort Scott Glue. We'll stick with you. That's the motto.
Yeah, and I'll be happy, if any commissioner has questions, I'll be happy to give you a little bit more information on it. But
Okay.
wanted to be transparent about asking those questions first. Yes, sir.
Animal-wise, it's chickens and dogs.
Yes.
So, there is no regulations on horses. The only code that they could violate would be, the smell ordinance.
Yeah.
There's nothing there about number of horses?
Hey,
No, just the smell.
See, there's horses.
wait a
in
minute,
town.
what's the one on chickens?
Chickens, you can have up to 12
Because I'm being overrun.
hens and no roosters.
Okay, right down the street on Wilson Street, between
Oh, I know, I see them.
8th and 7th, not only is there a very loud rooster there, but I go out in my yard there on 8th, and I got 4 or 5 chickens running around my yard.
I can say, I see them all over the neighborhood. I don't ever see where they go.
Well, I can show you where they're coming from.
Find the kernels.
But yeah, like I said, chickens and dogs are the only things spelled out.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Because of something that was on the agenda tonight, I was reached out to by several citizens to ask, when it comes to the lift station, as that originally was built under a bond that was taken out that the lake residents are paying for, would this be added to that bill or added to that bond?
You have an MOU that says the city took over those lift stations.
Took over those lift stations?
That's why I'm looking into it to see
Yeah.
if that's something that we can.
There was one signed in 2011 and another one signed again in 2021.
Okay, even though the original bond language,
That's what I'm trying to.
Okay.
I've got a phone number I'm gonna call them.
okay,
I had the same question.
excellent.
Yeah.
And then, final question was, we had talked before about setting up a thing where, like Mondays, especially in the downtown area, Mondays we'd ask everybody not to park on one side of the street from a certain time to a certain time so the street sweeper could get through. And then on another day, do the same thing. I've seen that not,
We'll be able to get back to it now that asphalting's done.
okay.
He's been driving a dump truck.
Well,
Up and down.
I guess, so had it been successful previously, were people following the parking suggestion?
No.
Okay. So then,
Not even close.
in a couple of other cities that do something similar in their downtown, what they have done is put up basically a sign and wanted to know if this is possible, you know. These other cities do it, so apparently, I guess it's legal, but where we would give them a grace period for a learning curve, and then after that, according to the signage, if they parked on that side of the street between such and such an hour that we wanted to run the street sweeper, then we would tow the vehicle at the owner's expense. And that's,
Chicago does that with 8 million people, and they enforce that.
yes, yeah. Well, there's a couple cities here in Kansas that have wanted to clean up their downtown areas, found that asking people didn't work real well, but as soon as they towed a couple vehicles, suddenly everybody complied.
Especially when it gets towed to a vehicle lot that the city owns, or maybe even doesn't own, that's 20 miles away from where you live.
No. Luckily, nothing's 20 miles away, right? So,
We'll look into it.
wanted to know, yeah, just, we have a lot of wonderful people coming to town here for a lot of activities that are going to be coming up, and being able to keep those gutters and everything downtown. It's so easy to run that street sweeper through, clean everything up, make it look nice real quick. If we have one side of the street open each day, like we talked about, so. Other than that, that's all the questions I had for this evening.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Olson?
No comments.
Commissioner Dancer?
Yeah, I just had one question that was very similar to Commissioner Wells. Some of the delivery drivers, they've expressed some, I guess, discontent. In some blocks, they have to park in the middle of the street because the parking is taken up on either side. I know it's caused consternation and frustration with some of the people just trying to traverse those streets, sometimes with shop owners because the trucks are blocking their customers. Is it possible to set up like truck loading, unloading at certain times, say like, the crack of dawn till 8 a.m. when most establishments aren't open anyway, when delivery drivers could make deliveries?
That's something usually that the receiver sets up with the delivery service. And I know this because this is kind of what distributors and stuff do for a living. In other words, they will tell the driver, we'll only take deliveries from this time to this time. But if you've got guys that I'm sure is making a run between several different towns around here, and he comes into Fort Scott to make a delivery, and we've got a sign up that he didn't know about that says, hey, guess what? You can't come in here till between 9 and 9:30 a.m. That business owner may not get that delivery that day.
No, I'm saying is if we can set up, parking or
Parking spot, yeah.
loading, unloading zones in the parking spots that are already, painted on the streets downtown, so that those delivery trucks can get in here during non-business hours to make their deliveries, and then, if basically make those places off limits for, for cars, in those spaces, say from like, 6 to 9 a.m. or 6 to 8 a.m., something like that, so that those trucks have a place to go and do their offloads in the downtown area.
The other item that we talked about, of course, we're not there yet, we're ways off, but a couple of years ago, before you were on the commission, we had a similar discussion. And so our plan moving forward was to fix the alleyways and make 3rd Street the entrance, and trucks can only go down the alleys and then back out Wall Street.
Oh, yeah, and that's,
And then make all their deliveries
This one,
in
they
the
can
alley.
still do that.
Except for this?
They can still do that. I mean,
Yeah.
That's not.
But we hadn't,
yeah.
Nothing's
because-
holding them back except do businesses all have back doors that they,
Well, I
can,
mean-
that they can go into.
There's at least one alley that a truck can't get down right now, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
the only one. But
Yeah.
do all businesses
I
have back
think
doors
there's-
that you can get into?
I think the alley over in the next block up on this side of the street, I think they're pretty tight down there too.
Behind Mako?
Behind where?
Behind Mako Ace?
No, behind like Lowell Milken and
Oh,
Main
you're
Street.
that way.
Yeah, Main Street
Oh,
Gallery.
so right down there? Yeah.
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 Like
So-
behind the village shops, that place.
Right.
But all of them should have alley access.
I know that it depends what you're calling a delivery truck, because Lions Realty gets tons of, they're an Amazon hub. So the Amazon trucks, they're like a lot. So, and she doesn't have
Right.
a back alley behind her building. I
Oh,
was thinking about her.
yeah.
But, so it depends what's defined as,
Sure.
I guess, like, delivery.
You guys ever been to Boston?
Yeah.
In the fall.
You know what? Them truck guys don't give a crap.
No, I know. It's just,
They don't care.
you know, I know
Everything's perfect.
at least two truck drivers have said, hey, is there any way, you know, like set up offload, you know, loading, unloading zones? You know, if so, then, you know, hey, we can tailor our routes and come here during those times, and that way we're not parking in front of businesses, we're not blocking traffic in the middle of the street.
I don't know. I've not heard any. Send them my way, we'll talk. I mean, that's
Okay.
fine. We'll figure something out, but.
I mean, usually.
You've got
even
parking problems, you got people complaining about parking, but we've got a whole block that's always open, you know, we've always got parking spots here.
Well,
I mean.
Yeah, but
look at me, I'm a
if
picture
you've
of
got
fitness, but I
if you've got a
walk.
delivery down in the 100 block, you know,
I don't know,
you
the,
you
like-
can't park 2 blocks away.
Across from,
Right.
from like your establishment, whenever I'm down there in the morning.
I don't have an establishment.
That's right. Well, from the
One you
one
work
you
at.
habitated times. A lot of times when I'm down there, like in the morning, if I'm getting a biscuits and gravy or something like that, it seems like across the street at Crooners that there's nobody's parked on that side of the street.
It's hit or miss,
Hit or miss.
you know, and especially in the next block up, like with, yeah. You know, especially where, you know, we've got the residents you park on the
Pretty
street
good idea, I thought.
in the next block up.
Parking.
I think it's a pretty good idea myself.
I think it's a great
I
idea.
thought it was.
Do we need a motion for that, or how do we move forward with
We'll
it?
need to put that on.
It was just a question.
I'll look, Trace, I'll look.
Okay.
I will. I'll
All right.
look into it.
Okay.
Is it, I know there's one on Wall Street that a semi parks.
Yeah, like right in the middle of the street.
But other than that, I guess I don't see them, but I'm out, not just here, I'm out over, all around town.
Yeah, I had
So-
like the,
I know we had one come in here, a semi.
yeah, there was a business in the next block north that came and said, hey, is there any way?
I know they do deliver to a restaurant up in the next block.
Mm-hmm.
So I will,
That way.
I'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. That's all I have.
That's all you have? Okay. Quick announcement, the December 2nd meeting, I will be out of the country. I will be trying to dial in as I did when I was in Malaysia that time. I won't be back until Friday, the 5th. So I was going to put to the commission, like I said, I will attempt to join remotely as in the past. Of course, Catherine, as the president, will sit in the chair. But regarding the lighting of the mayor's Christmas tree,
I was going to go a little different direction on it, since I'm not going to be here, and thought I would get the commission's feedback. If we'd like Catherine to do it, that's great, but I also thought, since this is a new tree, of maybe selecting a child to light the tree with the city manager. I think that would be
That's a great idea.
a big thrill, because to me, Christmas is for kids. I know they call it the mayor's tree, but if you're good with that, I'll select a young child and coordinate with Brad to have them light it, unless you would.
Oh, no. Yes, I'd love for people to hate me. That'd be great.
Mayor, I think
Could
that's
get
pretty
the
easy to
school
prerogative.
district doing a competition.
Well, I'll just pick
School
one.
district to do this competition, you have to light the mayor's Christmas tree.
Maybe, I've got one in mind already that is not a relative of mine or anything, that I've got to know quite well and would get a big kick out of it.
That's quite fine.
So Brad, I will coordinate that with you and the parents of that child, if you're okay with that. And I wish I could be here for it. Unfortunately, my flight lands coming back into the country at noon on Friday, but believe you me, I am terribly excited to get down and see the efforts of the Christmas on the Bricks Committee and what they've done and what they've got going. My wife got to be a little bit involved this year on like the scavenger hunt part of it, and she was thrilled about that and very appreciative she was able to participate in that. But with that said, I just wish everyone around this table, everyone in the city, everyone who's got family away, a very blessed Thanksgiving next week. We don't know how blessed we got it until you go and see how someone else is living. But keep that in mind. The Beacon is always looking for donations. If you know a neighbor that, may not be as blessed as someone else or as yourself, see what you can do to make sure people have time to have fellowship and a good meal with people. And I wish everyone the happiest Thanksgiving they could have. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would move to adjourn.
Second?
Tim Van Hookey?
Yes.
Dylan Olson?
Yes.
Matthew Wells?
Yes.
Tracy Dancer?
Yes.
Catherine Salisbury?
Yes.
Look at that, Bob. You barely missed the first quarter, probably.
I think I want to get there. I just hope it's as successful as ever. See you, my friend.
See ya. I'll pass.
I probably short-circuited.
Comes tax time.